Hello, is this Bonnie?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
No. Okay.
Am I loud enough?
Yes.
Are we rolling?
Yes.
Are all the kinks out of the way?
Yes. Sorry.
Listen, I just want to ask you a few questions. No big deal. Answer however you want, and we'll just go from there. So,
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Alberta, Canada.
High school?
High school. I did go to high school.
Okay. A lot of us didn't, but where did you go to high school? And what was, more specifically, what was high school like for you?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and so, and then the high school was very, cool. And so I guess I wasn't that cool. I wanted to be popular, but I really wasn't.
And your parents, were they supportive of you?
No, whose parents were supportive of them? That only happened this generation.
Not very many.
Not in our business, right?
Listen, I have to apologize. I had some fermented cabbage juice. Have you ever tried it? It's really good. It's really good for your system. You should try it sometime.
Okay, yeah, no.
So, how about college? Did you go to college?
Not really. I went to NAIT, which is Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, but I just took radio and television arts there for 1 year.
Okay. Was that useful? I mean, when did you realize you were going to become a comedian? Was it in college?
No, it was just after college when I had to get a job, and I was working as a copywriter, and it wasn't paying me very well. And someone said, there's a job at a local comedy club as a hostess. And so I went over there and I got the job. And then when I started watching, I tried to write for comedians, and then they kept saying, you can't make a living writing for comedians. You either have to do it or, get out. So I started doing it.
Were the comedians receptive to you when you brought jokes to them? Or were they more like, I know what I'm doing, I don't need your help?
No, they were actually, most of them wouldn't read the jokes that I wrote them. They were just dismissive. But when people did, they were like, these are good. You should do them. You should try them. People were really nice to me in the beginning.
Let's talk about that because, you are as yourself very, very funny person and you do intimidate people.
I intimidate people?
Well, I mean, by the very
Not
nature.
you.
Well, we'll see about that. The interview's not over yet. Let's get on with it. You're also a writer and you're also a director. Is there anything you can't do? I mean, what are you?
I'm a terrible mom, but my daughter told me yesterday that I was probably going to get, if I just beat her, then I might have a chance at worst mother ever.
What do you mean? Beat her like it's Scrabble or something?
Yeah.
Talk about home life. Do you enjoy being a mother?
Yeah, I do. I mean, for reals, yes. Without jokes, yes.
We're not joking now. We're talking.
We're not joking. Okay, good. No, I didn't know how much I was supposed to be joking.
What's the thing you cherish most about motherhood?
Well, it's like I've always wanted to have this best friend that had the same kind of brain that I had, that liked talking about weird stuff, and she really does. So I feel like I created my own best friend.
And, a lot of people do. I'm very close with my mother, and she's a big inspiration in my life. But talk about you're also married to a comedian,
Yes.
Rich Voss. How is that? Is it competitive, or do you just see everything?
I mean, sometimes it's competitive, but mostly it's not. I mean, we think of ourselves as very different, with different goals. And, he doesn't like writing, and I don't particularly like going on the road. So he goes, before the pandemic, he would go on the road every single week for, Wednesday through Sunday, and it was hard because sometimes he came back. And
that's very
can't
funny.
Help myself.
Well, if you want to make a joke, you can. This is the place to do it.
Okay, great.
Don't feel intimidated. And I know there's also some questions I want to ask you that aren't quite as personal, that I could probably get to know you better with. What's your favorite food?
Noodles. I was thinking the other day that the noodles there has to be some biological connection to noodles. I don't know what it is, but
well, the word noodle. The word
every
noodle.
single person loves noodles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taste my noodle. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's just a joke. I'm not really a comedian, so I'm just kind of trying to make up some things as I can. What's your favorite drink? What's your favorite drink? Alcohol or non-alcoholic? I don't know if you drink. So.
Well, I like a nice vodka for alcoholic beverages. And
room temperature?
No, with the ice. With ice. Ice cold. If it's in the freezer, that's so much better.
Maybe just drink it in the freezer.
If I sat in like a walk-in closet or something, a walk-in freezer, and drank it in there.
Okay, let's move forward. Some of these things, it feels like we're sticking, and we can't edit. So we just, if we could edit, we would have taken out the last 2 minutes. But
I'm sorry, I'm doing the best that I can.
But there's just a couple more questions that I want to ask you. Really
okay. Okay.
Some of these questions are important. What's your favorite breakfast cereal? I don't know, like Fruit
I like a granola. I like a granola. I like a gluten-free granola in the morning.
You don't have a specific name of the cereal?
No, Naked. I think it's called Naked.
Okay. How about any hobbies I should know about?
I sew. I do a lot of sewing. I like puzzles and bird watching.
Bird watching.
Yeah, I got better at it because I started learning bird call. Now when I go outside, I hear a bird. I go, I just did my own joke wrong. I hear when I go, that's a bird.
If you want to do it again, you can.
I can no, there's no editing, so people will know.
But still, you got the right take.
You know how it is as an actor. Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to just cut it up, but I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know any bird calls that you could do for us right now?
No, I can't. I'm not allowed legally for something to happen. I'm not allowed to do them. I'm not allowed to do them anymore because of something my neighbors got litigation against me.
What if you just did it quietly?
That's all I can do for now. But I mean, obviously I know a lot.
That's great. How about just back to the stand-up comedy thing? Any embarrassing moments? Any times that you were on stage where you felt like you wish you weren't on stage?
I mean, like outside of right now. Yeah, of course. Almost every single time I've ever been on stage, it's been embarrassing. That's the thing about other comedians that I'm amazed by. They love their own performance so much. Sometimes I'll catch my husband looking at himself, like watching an old show of his. It's like, why would you ever do that? To me, it's all just, it's all attached to some kind of shame.
So your jokes are cathartic or sort of self-reflective in a imaginative form or something outside of your body or what?
I don't know what you're asking me, but yes.
I mean, do you feel that you're going through a certain process every time that you make a joke? It has something to do with your childhood, etc.?
Oh, no. I'm just trying to make jokes. I'm just minding my life, or I used to say raping my life, but then I got bad. I'm minding my life constantly for jokes, the best jokes. I don't care necessarily. Like the jokes themselves don't have shame attached to them. It's the performance.
So you feel that you, as a performer, which are you better at, performing or writing?
Writing, 100%. Yeah,
100%
performing.
writing.
Yeah, I mean, I love writing so much. I have to stop myself from doing it all day long, but performing takes a lot for me.
So tell me your discipline as a writer. Do you wake up and do free association, or do you work on your scripts later in the day, or what's your basic?
I don't have that much of a thing, but I do like writing first thing in the morning, and I never decide, I never think you need to write this. Oh, sometimes I have a deadline, but I just work on whatever I feel like working on. Sometimes it's my stand-up, sometimes it's a screenplay, sometimes it's like a novel or just free association. It doesn't matter. Just whatever I feel like writing, I let myself write.
And from this, you became a director? I mean, how did you see path to become a director, because you are
yes, I would like it to be faster to become a director. It's very hard to get money to make things, but I don't think of it as being a director. I think of it as making things. Like, I like making things. I like making short films and TV shows, and I like that creative process. I like doing it with other people. I love, like, when there's a lot of really smart people in the room that are funny. I mean, that's why I like stand-up comedy, because you're just always around really smart, funny people.
It's an energy thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's the same as when I'm acting. I can feel a certain kinetic force that's behind the lines, or the way I look at someone, or the way that I breathe. And do you see that for being a performer? Do you see that goes into your directing, that directly you know what they're kind of thinking and what they're going through as a performer?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do have a shorthand because of that, but also because usually I've written the material, so I have already. I know the person that comes aboard is usually where I've already connected on the material, So, yeah, and I just I like it when other people are really good and you just give them space to be really good. That's my favorite thing, when they elevate what you've done, and then maybe you can elevate it again with a note, or you have an idea.
It's sort of like decorating a Christmas tree. You put the ornaments that you want to put on first, and then you go up the tree until you get to the very top, and then, well,
hopefully you have like a great looking tree. Yes,
you hope so.
Yes.
What else? Do you think, I mean, this is in general in society and the world that we live in today, do you think that everything's going to be okay?
No, I feel it's like a very slow finish, I think. And, I don't have that high hopes for what's going to happen, because I think it's like everything's kind of coming to a close. It's like we have some, political upheaval. It's very polarized, and then we also have the problem with the environment, and how it's going to get really, really hot, and how much longer can we sustain the way we're living, just in every single aspect of our life, and it doesn't look like anybody cares about changing.
Okay, on that note, what's your favorite curse word?
Cunt. Yeah.
I like that one. Mine is, I like to just say shit. That's all, just shit.
Yeah, it works for a lot of things.
Where do you see yourself in 10 minutes?
Walking my dog.
You don't have to answer all. You're going to walk your dog.
Yeah.
He probably needs to be walked.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long this has been so far, but it's supposed to be 2 hours. And no, I'm joking. Do you have any anger
Is this
issues?
the hardest interview you've ever had to do?
This is the hardest. I've never done this. This is the Jeff Richards show.
This is the first time.
I'm actually filling in. I'm filling in for Jeff each show. For some reason, he's not here so far.
Oh, so but this is the first time that you've done it.
This is the first time that you've been on the show.
It is true. You're correct on that one.
It's the first time you've been here, and it's also the first time I've been here.
Oh, so this is new for everybody.
I guess so.
Why is there such a lag?
Because I'm not great at this impression. And I Otherwise,
you are.
it won't sound.
I think I'm talking to Willem Dafoe.
Well, you know what? You might be right, and you might be wrong. You like Eggs Benedict?
I don't eat. I'm a vegan.
Let's talk about Canada, because a lot of great comedians, great actors have come from Canada. What is it about Canada? I know that they supply the artists. They put these artists on TV a lot more. If you're Canadian, you get to go on television a little. Well,
I guess
quicker.
So. I mean, in the comedy world, it's hard to break out because nobody knows anybody's name. It's like, it's too much socialism with stand-up, because they just advertise comedy.
Just comedy.
Yes, so nobody know. Like, it's not like people are going to see a specific artist. A lot of the time it's just like comedy, and then
But that seems to be a problem too, because then you have to make your comedy so broad and so mainstream.
Agreed.
That
yes,
anybody could get it. So there really is there's no play to it. It's just these big headlights. Do you think we're losing our perspective on satire, our perspective on even having a perspective in comedy?
Yes, totally agree. I think it's just dumbing down everything until it's not even just dumbing down. It's just like sanding off the edges, and you just feel like as a comic, your whole thing was to have original thoughts, and now having original thoughts is so dangerous that you're like, okay, well, let me just talk about fruit, or whatever it is that's not going to upset anybody. But even then you can get into like food allergy problems. I've had food allergy people come after me. It's honestly like you start to think the world really does not want comedy. I don't know what they think that they're going to get, but Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble, hosting the Emmys because he made a joke about somebody who's white, and I can't remember what the joke is. But they got mad at him because they said it's a privilege to make, that you can make a joke at the expense of a white person. It's like, well, like then you're really taking everything off the table.
But if the goal is to make everyone equal and equal footing in life and in society, then why do we attack anyone? Why do we go after? Why isn't it just all verbatim? Like what is the effect that we're trying to have if it's not just to get laughs and to, what do we want from this? I just personally, I see it as a dumbing down, like you said, and also an insult to your own intelligence.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not even smart, but what are the smart people doing for entertainment now? Like,
Quibi.
Is it Quibi? I would have never guessed that. But I don't think it's like, I also don't think it's like, I'm not like, oh, we should be allowed to attack others. It's so much more minute than that. It's like, you're not allowed to say anything. You're not even allowed to have an open discussion about others. It's like, I'm not up there trying to hope people become racist or misogynists or anything. It's just I'm making jokes, and part of my whole thing is I'm a good person in real life, so this is funny to make these jokes that are like that don't actually happen to me. It's like an earnest setup and a stupid take, and it's almost like you can't even do that kind of comedy anymore. It's like, people need to be walked through it.
It makes no sense because, a stand-up comedy club has so many nights that are open and people show up, they get dressed, they go in, they sit down. They know that this is supposed to be satire, or they should. I feel like people go into these places and they don't know what they're upset about, if anything, and they just find keywords, trigger words to jump off on and make complaints. And, one comedian gets one complaint, they don't go back to a club sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. Sorry, I'd let my dog out.
You weren't listening to me, were you?
I was. I would never not listen to you.
It's okay. I'm okay. Is there anything you'd like to plug or mention, talk about?
Well, I have a podcast with my husband called My Wife Hates Me, and I came up with that title. And he agreed. He was like, "You're right. You do hate me. So let's do it." So
which room are we in right now? If your place, you want to show us where?
Oh my God! This is our dining room, which my husband has decorated. He loves, I don't know if you can see.
This looks like a Renaissance.
Yeah, he loves this kind of painting, and it's
the Baroque era, perhaps.
It's too much. I don't know. He's like covered in tattoos, and yet this is his,
I've actually got a couple myself that I haven't shown to the public, but
yeah, it's.
I have a toaster. I have a toaster oven tattooed on my ass. It's not important. It's a long story, and I don't want to get into it. So, what color are those walls? It looks like a dark gray, or
A
maybe
dark gray, yes.
Is it a dark gray or maybe a blue?
That's the color of the season, I guess. Dark
My grandfather was colorblind, so I get some of that. So, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but you said you got the podcast. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know any of my shows off the top of my head. But.
Okay, well, we'll put your information down, and people can find out how to get a hold of you.
Twitter at Bonnie Mcfarlane. Is that something people say?
That's certainly something to say out loud. Sure.
And Instagram at Bonnie Mcfarlane.
At Instagram at Bonnie Mcfarlane. All right, great. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's not my show, but I want to thank you for coming on, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful life. And if I don't see you again,
wonderful life. Wow.
Merry Christmas.
It was fun doing it. It was nice to meet you, Mr. Dafoe.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.